This is a video tutorial on using the resources available to you at Tulsa Community College to do academic research for your classes. The first thing you need to do, and keep this in mind throughout any of the research you're doing, is that you need to be signed in to my TCC. Your tuition money pays for the subscriptions to many of the academic journals that you're going to be searching for. And one way that they filter out people who don't have subscriptions is that you have to be signed in through your college's website in some way to be able to get access to them. And what will happen a lot of times is that you'll be searching for a while, and maybe you'll time out of a system, or you'll forget to sign in, and you can't get access to certain links. You may be able to get some search results, but you can't find full text of the articles. And you need to come back and sign in. Make sure you sign in. If you have any trouble, make sure that you go back and sign in. So once you do sign in, you will come to the My TCC homepage. Click on Blackboard. It'll open up your Blackboard page. Hopefully you don't have as many classes as I do. And click on the Library tab up in the top bar here. It'll take you to a link that will take you to the library's homepage, and that's what it looks like. Again, get real familiar with everything on this page. Anything you need to do research-wise at TCC will be available to you here on this page. There's a lot of links and resources to help you. It's got physical hours for all of the libraries at all of the campuses. But it's also got this neat feature, especially for online students, called Chat and FAQ. And when you click on that, it will open up a page that gives you the ability to chat online with live TCC librarians during certain hours of the day. It's not 24 hours a day. But if you click that link, you'll be able to chat in real time with a librarian from TCC. You can ask them questions about your topic, maybe get some suggestions on what to do if you're having trouble searching for something. And these librarians, remember, they are the experts in research even more than any of your professors are. They have degrees in research. So you really want to make use of the librarians to help you out in doing your research. They'll have even better answers than I will on finding certain things online. So that's the chat online feature. But let's go back to that library homepage. And what I want to look at now is this find section. This is where you'll find a lot of the search functionality to go to really actually look for your sources. You can look for books, you can look for articles and databases, and that's what I'm going to come back to. I'm going to look at our articles. I'm not going to talk so much about the book section. I'm going to assume that you know how to search for a book in a library, that you've learned that at some point in your life. But I'm going to start with research guides for the moment. There's 19 different subjects here of research guides, and they add to it from time to time. All of these research guides can help fit just about any topic that you have in any course. So even outside of composition classes, you can come here to begin developing developing ideas for a research project for whatever class. I'm going to go to English Literature, and I'm going to look at Composition 2. That's the easiest. And this is a page that will really give you almost, answer any questions you have about any composition assignment. I will probably give you in your classes, and most other classes too. If you think that you might do a current event topic of some kind, this is a good place to go first. Browse reports by topic, CQ Researcher. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But it's got all of these different links that will really help you develop the process of research that works for you. So helping you choose a topic, to developing your research project. It's got videos and how-to tutorials and stuff like that. Composition strategies for writing your essays, study guides and strategies for time management, which is always important with research, and all of that good stuff. I'm going to go to that browse reports by topic first with CQ Researcher. And I've talked probably at other points in class about the academic community and how you are entering into the academic community when you begin to do research and synthesize your ideas with other people. this is a good visual depiction of what the academic community might look like. CQ Researcher will bring you up to date on a lot of current event topics, controversial issue topics, and where the current academic conversation is with regard to those topics. So you can scroll down here, or you can browse topics by report. If you're developing a topic and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, and you have a wide open assignment, you can come here and start to look through where's the conversation. I've used the analogy that it's like entering into a party coming a little bit late. So you can come here to get caught up on what the conversation has been like before you, and maybe develop some good topics for your own paper when you're going to put your voice into the conversation. I will say that not every source you find within CQ Researcher as a database, and again, this is a database, it's a search functionality. Not every single source that you find in here is going to be completely scholarly or credible up to my standards, or maybe standards of other professors. You'll still need to evaluate that on your own. If you want to find an easier way to search through a database that has a lot more scholarly resources to it, go back to the library homepage, click on Articles and Databases, and it's going to take us to another list here of databases names alphabetized. And you can think of this again as that party that you're walking into. Each one of these databases is based in a different subject. You can scroll down and look at different ones. I think we've got something under literature down here somewhere. Literature criticism online. You may be doing a critical literary analysis paper for me for your research paper, and that might be a place that you want to go to. But just like the CQ Researcher was, this will start to help you find the subjects and the current academic conversations going on in them. The far and away the easiest one to use is the very first one, Academic Search Premier EBSCOhost. I'm going to click on that now. And I'm going to go through a couple of searches here. Now, again, a nice thing about this EBSCOhost database is that it will help you find scholarly articles really easily. One of the not nice things about it is that it is not as intuitive of a search engine as Google is, and you're probably used to using Google and used to it helping you out with results. You have to be a lot more specific when you get to EBSCOhost. It's a little bit more sticky when it comes to finding stuff for you. So you may need to come back into the search tab, rearrange your words. You may need to talk to a librarian and say, why am I not finding results on something that I really think there should be some research out there on? You may need to do that with EBSCOhost. But here it's come up with about 35 different hits for Hills Like White Elephants. And again, I'll bet you that there is more critical information than those 35 hits. If I dug around and searched for different variations, Ernest Hemingway, stuff like that, got help from a librarian, I might be able to find other articles out there. But it's given me a few. What do we get? A stylistic analysis of linguistic patterns. So that's going to look at Hemingway's writing style. The Jilting of Jig. That article is probably going to look at how Jig is jilted, I assume. Metaphorical abortion in Hills Like White Elephants. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. The real nice part of the search functionality of EBSCOhost is that you can come over and click on a limiter here to give you only scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Again, any scholarly peer-reviewed article that you get is probably going to be okay for, in terms of credibility, for any professor you ever have. It'll be okay for me, and I don't know of any professors who would ever argue that something from a legitimate academic journal, a peer-reviewed journal, isn't credible. So you can limit your results to that, and you're only going to get stuff that really does belong in our academic community. That's a nice thing about EBSCOhost. You don't just have to search through literature through EBSCOhost. You can search for current event topics too. Let's think about body image, see what comes up there. And you can tell by some of the titles that we're already finding some stuff that might be of use to you if you're writing a research paper about body image. Body weight and body image in young adults, mirroring the media, the relationship between media consumption, media internalization, and profile picture characteristics on Facebook. That sounds really interesting. I don't understand it at all, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Whenever you're ready to go to the article, just click on the PDF full text and it should bring up the full text of the article. If it doesn't, again, remember, go back, sign in to my TCC, and you should be okay. Like I said, the drawback of EBSCOhost is that its search functionality isn't as easy to use as you're used to with Google, but there is a way to use Google and its functionality to help us find scholarly sources, and that's by going to Google Scholar. If you've never used this or never heard of it, you really should make use of it. It's a great resource. Looks just like Google, except it's got the word scholar underneath it. And like I've said, the everyday internet is really a terrible place to look for, to do academic research. You'll just end up with a lot of advertisements, a lot of hits for sponsored websites, biased material that we really don't want in our academic conversation that we're trying to create here. But you see, I don't get any of that whenever I go to Google Scholar. I don't get any ads. I don't get the sponsored websites. What I'm going to get is academic articles on whatever subject it is I'm searching for. And it's a little more helpful than EBSCOhost in helping, guiding you to the subject it thinks you want. In the right sidebar over here, it'll give you links to go to download the PDF versions of the article. But you'll need to beware with this because now you're outside in the Google website and you're not signed in. You may still be signed into my TCC, but my TCC doesn't really work with Google Scholar. So now it's going to try to charge you for many of these articles that you go to. So what you'll want to do is, once you find a result on here, is go back to EBSCOhost through the TCC library and search for it there and see if it's there. If you're signed into the Wi-Fi system at TCC, or you're on any TCC computer, which I'm not, so it's not happening now, but in the sidebar over here, it will tell you through Google Scholar if the source is available at TCC. So if you're working from a campus somehow, that's a real nice little bonus with that. You won't be able to just click on it and find the article. You'll still have to go back into EBSCOhost and search for it, or you may have to talk to a librarian about where it is. But it's an easy way to tell what is available to you at TCC. Okay. So again, the last thing that I'll leave you with is, if you have any trouble with your research, don't be afraid to ask these librarians at TCC. That's what they have degrees in. That's what they're paid for. They like to help, either through the chat online function or go into a physical library if that's an option for you, and talk to them. Ask them for help with your topic. Ask them for ideas for research, and they'll be glad to do that. So I hope you learned a little bit about the research resources available to you through Tulsa Community College with this, and good luck in your research.